YouTube, welcome back. Mike here, your host for another episode of Mike's RC Corner. Today was going to be an unboxing video of this 1/16 scale monster truck. I actually shot the video and took it out of the box, and I destroyed the box, and I went back and looked at the footage on my camera and I realized it didn't record properly. So the box is already in the garbage, so no unboxing really, but this is all what you get. This is the 1/16 REMO monster truck, also known as the Rocket, and you can see it kind of resembles the 1/8 scale or 1/5 scale, Traxxas X Max. They use that same kind of scheme, at least in the body for it. So interesting, they call it the S Max here on the body. I'm just going to go over quickly here what all comes with it, and then a separate video I'm going to do a running video. So just this will just be an overview. So I got this one from Banggood, and I'm just going to talk about the box that it came in. It has some clear plastic shielding on it, so you can see into the box, see the RC. Banggood wrapped cardboard around it, taped it down, wrapped this whole thing in foam. It arrived in great condition, and thanks for Banggood for doing that. And they also included the North American adapter, which is a huge plus. Thanks for doing that. And let's get the small stuff out of the way. They included in the box is some Allen wrenches in this bag. There's an extra set of body clips, which is always cool because those can get lost quite easily. You got another spur gear in here. It's metal. I'm not sure if it's bigger or smaller or the same what's in there. I'm guessing maybe bigger. I'm not sure. I'll have to check back on that, but that will increase or reduce the speed of the truck. And it's got a little plastic cross wrench for the nuts of the wheels, so that's nice to have. And Allen wrenches mean that it's going to have hex screws all throughout. You get a charger here, the B3, pretty standard stuff. Needs the North American adapter for me. It charges your battery off the balance plug, and we have a 2-cell and 3-cell balance plug here, so it could charge up your 3-cell LiPos too if you wanted to. This one came with a 2-cell LiPo. It outputs 800 milliamps, so it will charge this battery in about 2 hours. I think the battery is a 1500 milliamp hour battery that comes with it. Over here we got a manual, shows you how to work the radio. It's English and Chinese all together, so described in English, and underneath it's the same description in Chinese, and pretty standard stuff for radio. Moving on over here, not a real manual, but more of a parts guide and how to build the different parts of the truck. You know, you want to put the diffs together, stuff like that. It shows you how all goes apart. It's got all the part numbers that you need, and they also include the parts catalog, which is kind of neat. So, and then over here you have, oh, that's the same old radio manual there. So yeah, and they just tell you what some basic tools you may need in case you want to take it apart or put hop-up parts on or whatever they do. So pretty decent manual. I really like the description of the parts. It's really clear, and all the part numbers. That's pretty cool. We'll put the truck aside here. I've already taken the body clips off. We'll talk about the radio really quick. Underneath the tray takes 4 AA's. Trigger's pretty good on it. Foam wheel. It's got the 70-30 ratio on it, which is interesting. It's got an on-off switch. Really cool over here. This has a protective flap, and we got 4 dials, and that's exactly like I like to see, because it has a steering trim and a throttle trim, but it's got the steering dual rate and it's got a throttle dual rate. So the throttle dual rate, you can turn it right down. This thing will drop in speed, and you can hand the radio over to a younger kid, a child, and they can drive it at a slower speed, and you don't have to worry about damaging it in a high-speed crash. Last about this thing, you flip this trigger here and you can push the steering wheel through, and now you can drive left-handed if that's your driving style. But the buttons on this sort of favor the right-handed steering, which is the most common way of handling an RC, but it's versatile, so it could be meant for a beginner person who does steering that way too. So that brings us down to the truck itself. Pretty cool stuff. I think it looks really good. It also comes in blue instead of red. The body's stiff. I like it. It has some flex. I'm trying to flex it right now. As you can see, it's like you really have to give it a good squeeze, and then the whole thing really starts folding. But this is really tough. Backed in white. These are all painted into the scheme. They're not stickers. So I really like that. I think this is going to be durable. So a thumbs up on the body shell for sure. And now we're looking at the truck. And you can see the major components here. We got the ESC receiver all built in together. We have a servo, which is 5-wire, that goes back to the speed controller receiver combo here, brush motor. And we got ourselves a Li-ion battery, 1500 milliamp hour Li-ion. So that'll give you a really good runtime for sure. Has a Velcro strap keeping it in. We'll just kind of break it down. Yeah, there's a little on-off switch. There's aerial antenna sticking out here. Heat sink on the motor. That's a 380, 390 size motor. Not entirely sure what the size of the motor is, but it's in that ballpark for sure. Either or, 380, 390. Just checking the suspension here. It's quite bouncy. The RC is quite a lot heavier than you would think it would be, so that may work well with the suspension. They're plastic shocks with metal caps. Possibly could be oil filled, and it doesn't feel like there's any oil in here, or if they did, they didn't put enough in, because the damping is not that great. So we'll see. I have other RCs this size, and it tends to run pretty good, but a tendency is if it goes over a bouncy area, the back end will kick up because of the spring action. So, but I think maybe the overall weight of this RC may help it stay a little more planted for sure. We'll go look at it this way quick. Just got a servo horn going here. Now it may have like a V slip type servo saver system over here in the truck, but no real servo saver or anything you can dial down. Looking here, maybe you can see, try and make it easiest to see, past my fingernail, downwards between my fingernail and the servo is the drive shaft, and it is plastic. I've seen that in a lot of RCs that are in the 1/18 scale, 1/16 scale size, and the ones that run around, this one's rated to run around 50 kilometers, it should be fine. The ones that go faster generally get upgraded to metal, but I think this one will hold up fine. Let's just take a quick look. Just linkages here, non-adjustable. The A-arms for the suspension feel pretty good. Good plastic. Bumpers are a little solid, but they got some give. Heat sink on the motor. We got dog bones going to 4 dog bones for the outdrives. Yep. Overall, and one thing is kind of neat I noticed is the hinge pins is a kind of a U-shaped thing, so the U kind of pushes in and it rounds over here, and they use 2 screws to hold that part in. So interesting concept there. I've never really seen that in any other RC, so we'll see how that holds up. I think it might work well. Yeah, hex screws all the way around. And one interesting thing, I'll show you the bottom of the chassis. You'll notice you don't see any screws down here. Everything screws in down from the top. pretty interesting. The only you see is, yeah, the Captain Obvious here. You see the Velcro strap. So that's different than you see on a lot of other RCs. And yeah, plastic top plate for stiffening. You know, standard fare. It looks pretty good. I'm really interested to get it out and see what this can do. Again, it runs 50 kilometers an hour, so it will have some decent speed for its size at 1/16 scale. The REMO Hobby, I also have the buggy in this, and I have to yet do a running video for that, guys. So be on the lookout soon for the running video of this truck. Oh, maybe before I wrap it up, I'll talk about the tires. Look like plastic rims. Sorta. That's spongy feel. That's a softer rubber, and it got foams inside. So, anyways, we'll leave it right at that. We'll get this thing outside and put it through its paces, and I'll give you my impressions on how this thing drives. Be on the lookout for that video, guys. Always appreciate you tuning in. If you got a comment or a question, you know the drill. Leave it below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright? Hope everyone's having a good day. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.